Okay, so good afternoon once again, class. Before we start our lesson, I'd like to group already the class for the first quiz, which would be next week. And let me use the list in the class. Let's randomize it. Control C. Now, when we do this and copy it in R, of course, that would be very difficult because you cannot run this. Kasi it will not be recognized as character because there are no quotes. So, pag iisa-isahin natin yan, matagal yan dito siya. Right? Diba? So, not a good idea to do this in R. So, let's do this in Excel na lang muna, yung yung paglagay ng quotes. Any suggestion, class? I think, yan, yung iba sa inyo, since may ano na kayo, meron kayong ano sa akin, no? May ibang subject. So, alam niyo na to, no? Anyway, in the interest of time, we need to put here the quotation, quotes, and then the comma. No? So if I'm going to put quotations here at the start and at the end of the name, and then a comma, then I can now copy this and then paste it in R. That will make the creation of the vector easier for us. So let me do this in Excel. So let me start with this one and the name, and we have to close that, okay, and a comma, no? There, Control Enter. So there, mas mabilis, no? Just copy this. Dapat pag-copy ko, sabay-sabay na. Okay. What I meant was dapat to. Yan. Okay, so we now have the names and then also the commas after each name. The last nga lang, tatanggalin ko na lang dito yan, no? O doon na lang sa sa R. Tatanggalin ko yung comma kasi end na siya. Or one way to do it is in conditional formatting. Let me copy this. Control C. And then here, Control V. So I can do conditional formatting here by inserting the quotes, and then the comma. So how do you do that? Highlight everything and then Control 1 for Windows. Command 1 yata sa Mac. I'm not sure. But in the format cells number, you choose custom. Alright, so ito yung natin, ito yung data, no? Ito yung natin, cell. We want this to be enclosed in quotations. So sa custom, you can create here several customs. Custom formatting. Ito mga hashtag na yan, mga numbers yan. Okay? So there are different custom formatting dito. Now, pag gumawa kayo ng custom formatting dito, it will stay here. No? Parang masisave na siya dyan. So next time you need to use that, pwede mo magamit. So to write the quotes here, kailangan magsimula tayo ng slash and then quotes. If you notice, pag sinulat ko to, dapat lalabas yung pangalan dito. No? And then at, yan. Nung linagay ko yung at, makita nyo, nagsimula na siya, nag-register siya ng open quotations. So to close it, ganun din, slash quotes. Yan, nag-close na siya. Yan. So meron tayong quotes at the start and at the end. And then, I'll put a comma there. Okay, so this will format yung mga cells na to. Okay, there. All right, so either way, we were able to format our cells so that, I'll now copy this, Control C, and then I can now create an object in dito ko siya lalagay, no? Para dito na lang. And then dito na. Control V. right? So I will not anymore fix the spacing. Basta may beginning and end quotes yan at saka comma. All right. In the interest of time, I won't fix anymore the spacing. Ito sa dulo nga lang, I'm going to delete the comma and then close this. All right. So naka-close na siya. Control Enter. We now have this. FINTSAR. Okay. FINTSAR. If I print it, FINTSAR underscore K32 students, it will give us this one. Okay. And it's a character vector. No? Character vector siya. All right. Then, ilan kayo? 22. So, 22 kayo. So, groups of 3, no? Maximum lang 3. Of course, magkaka-benefit yung ano, yung I will allow, although masama sa loob ko. Kasi ayoko ng groups of 4 actually. Isang group lang naman yung magiging 4, no? Kasi 21. So that's 7 groups tayo. No? 7 groups. All right. So let me create a groups here, groups. An object called groups. Alt minus. So concatenate ko C. And then may shortcut nito eh, kaso wag ibali na. Group 1, comma, group 2. May shortcut ng pagsulat nito where you concatenate yung group at saka yung number. No? Pero tatagal tayo. No? Group 3, then comma. So let me copy this and then Control C, Control V. So group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6, and then this last one, group 7. Okay, so I'm creating this groups 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'll be assigning you to a particular group. No? All right, so enter ko. So yan na, groups. Okay, so for quiz 1, let's create an object. I'll create an object Q1, quiz 1 for section K32. Okay, and then I'll create a data frame kasi mga characters to, no? Data.frame. Anong laman ng data.frame na yun? First is I'm going to put in the first column yung student name. Student, no? Okay, so si students, hindi ko siya ang gagawin ko, I'm going to have R list the students at random, no? Tapos yung group, siya ililist ko na group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, i-repeat ko, no? So yung student, you know how, di ba? Naalala niyo yung nag-sample tayo? Sample. Okay. So sample natin. So magsasample siya dito kay FINTSAR K32. Yan. Sample niya yan, no? Okay. Kukuha siya ng sampling dyan. Ibig sabihin 1 at a time niya kukunin. Tapos, so that will be the first column ng data frame natin. Pangalawa, okay, so let's create now oops, mali. Dapat hindi ko in-enter. No? Okay, dito. So let me call this column group. Magka-create ako ng column group. Dali Control Enter. Ay, hindi. Shift Enter ba to? Shift Enter. Yan, Shift Enter. Kasi nawala yung group. Sige. Group. I'll call it group is equal to, papa-repeat natin, repeat. No? Rep is repeat. Lumabas sa exam yan. Eh. Papa-repeat natin yung object na groups. I'm asking R, repeat yung object na groups. Ang groups, di ba? Group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Tapos gaano kahaba siya? Yung length. Since it's a character, I'm going to use the length function is equal to ilang beses niya uulitin yung groups. Ilang beses. Kung ilan yung length ng, so length is equal to length ni FINTSAR. Kung ilan si ano. Yan. Okay? So, okay na ba? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. So, just to explain to you, I'm creating this object called Q1, quiz1 K32. Data frame siya. Tapos, ang first column student. So, I'm going to sample from FINTSAR. Ibig sabihin, kukuha siya at random. Hindi alphabetical. Tapos itong group, i-repeat niya yung groups. Kasi ang group natin, group 1 hanggang group 7, uulitin niya yan. Hanggang kailan? Hanggang ilang beses? 22 times. Kasi yung length ng FINTSAR, 22 times. Okay? So, control enter. Alright. So, tinan ko nga itong FINTSAR. Wait. Ayan, data frame. So, meron tayo dito. Ano? Let me see. Ayan. Okay? So, ito na yung grouping nyo, class. Ha? I'm going to post this. Ayan. Tingnan nyo. Random yung pag-ano ng pangalan. Pero yung group, repeat niya. Group 1 to 7. And then group 1 to 7. And then group 1 to 7. Tapos group 1 na naman. Mulit. Alright. So, let me write this. I'm going to use the read R. Read R natin. Read R write underscore CSV. Okay, yung file na ipapasulat ko is Q1 underscore K32. Okay? And then, tapos ang file, sabi nito, file name, pareho na rin, file, I'll call it Q1 underscore K32. Okay. So ito yung object na ipapasulat ko as a CSV. Pinapaprint ko siya, no? Right? And then the file name will be Q1K32, right? Okay? Now, if you see dito sa ano natin, sa akin, sa files ko, lalabas si Q1, yan, no? See that? And then lalabas din sa ano yan, sa, it will also appear here. Dapat tinanggal dito. Wait na. Delete. Okay, so I will have to redo this. Okay. Right. Then that should appear here. Kaso ba't hindi siya CSV? May problem yung read R ko. Okay, bakit ayaw? Dapat nag-a-appear na siya. Dapat it will appear here as a CSV kasi ang ginamit ko write. No? Write CSV. Let me get another read R. Subukan ko yung save. Hindi, wala eh. Write yun eh. Should be right. Right. Ito. If I try CSV2, buka ko nga to. So my object is Q1 underscore K32. And then the file that I'm going to save it to is, baguhin ko yung object na, Q1 K32. Yeah, subukan kong ganito. Alright. Baka may problem kung pareho. Pero hindi, ginagawa ko to. Pwedeng pareho eh. Okay, so run ko. Alright. So it will now appear here in my in my Q1 K32. Pero it should also appear here in my, kaso hindi siya CSV. Why? Okay, anyway, I'll have to decipher why that's happening. Pero buksan ko na lang siya. I'll just open it. Okay. Click ito na yun. It's this one. Copy ko na lang. Control C and then paste ko dito sa ano natin para alam nyo so that you know who your group mates are. Okay, so then here. I can paste lang. Ayaw niya, no? So, data. Gali. Okay, dito ko i-paste sa ano? Sa Excel. Okay, tapos kasi I can now data text to column ko siya. Right? Next. Next. Nangyari. Finish. Ayaw. Kaya. Data. Text to columns. Okay, fix with. Next. Yan. Next. Ayaw pa rin. What's happening here? Dapat nag-ano na to Dapat nag-ano na siya, okay. Once again, delimited or fixed with. Ayaw. Delimited. Next, and then tab, comma. Yun, kamali ako. Dapat comma yung inano. Next. Okay. Sorry class I failed to highlight everything. One last. Delimited. Next. Comma. Okay na. So nag-separate yung ano, no? Next, never mind. Okay, finish. All right. So ito class yung names siya at saka ano Okay, so this will be your grouping for quiz 1, Control C. Then let me put it here. Q1. Okay, just to all right. Okay, so please take note of your group mates. Group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Group 1 up to 7, okay, etc. Okay, any questions about this class? I'll explain yung requirements of first quiz. That will be a grouping only for the first quiz. The second quiz, iba na. Tapos, as I said, may seat work tayo next meeting, first 30 minutes, so please come on time. Kasi kung wala kayo sa on-time class, hindi kayo makakapag-quiz, wala kayong points. Kasi I'll distribute the group at the beginning, within the first 5 minutes. Okay, any questions, class? Unmute nga or chat kung okay yung so far clear yung instructions.
No questions, sir. Thank you.
The rest, class? Clear ba so far? Okay. Hello.
No questions, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's now go to our lesson. Okay, thank you. Delete ko na tong tapos yung purpose niya. Okay. Okay, so where did you stop last time, class? I think just like the other section, what we did was to explain yung model natin, yung multiple R squared, yung adjusted R squared, etc. Diba? Am I correct, class? Okay. So we haven't done diagnostics yet. So let me insert a Control Alt I. Okay, hindi ko pa naloload yung yung wage ko. So let me load it. Make sure it's loaded sa project nyo. Asan yung function natin na yan? Let me also, nahiwala yung tidyverse dito. Let me also load this. And let me import yung wage.csv. Andito siya, no? Okay. Let me import it. All right, so it's here. 526. Okay. And what we did last time was to generate our first linear model. Diba ito yung first linear model natin? Let me copy this, Control C. Let me rewrite it here so that let's have a quick review. Okay, so where should I put it? Dito na lang, before report. Okay, let me just insert it here, Control Alt 1, Control D, and then I'll just put a summary here. Summary ng mod 1. And then, okay, I'll also, what we did also was to Control C, Control V. Tapos we run already the second model, di ba? Ito. Ito. This one. Control C. Let's have a quick review of what we have done before. Okay, dapat sa ilalim ko ng saan yun? Hirapan natin. Okay, let me just write it to you, class. Kasi I'm having difficulty looking for it. Control V. All right, then let me call this mod 2 alt minus, and then let me put the data here. Data is equal to wage. And then let me put this. Let me just generate the summary. Okay. And then let me rerun yung model 1 natin. Okay. So very quickly, class, very quickly, this is a comparison of model 1. Kulang ako dito ng dalawa. Model 1 and summary. Tapos dito, 1 odd. Dalawa to. So lang. Okay. All right. I won't anymore discuss so much model 1. It's a simple linear model, but just for purposes of comparison. Okay, we run both. Oops. Okay. Huli ko. Kailangan i-print ko pala ito. Ang mali. Summary, model 1. Model 1 is hourly wage regression education. Ay, nako. Ayan. Sorry, wala si LM. Okay. LM 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Pinaka-importante yung function, wala. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. So LM dapat linear model, no? The first one is a simple linear regression, and the other one is multiple. So let's run both. And quick review lang, class, because we already discussed this. So this is the first model. You have education and intercept. Education is significant at 0.001, and we learned how to interpret this last time. Intercept, we also learned how to interpret that. Adjusted R squared is 16.32. We said that the R squared is a metric, the measure of the model's ability to explain the variability of your outcome variable, which is hourly wage, 16.32. Yung next model natin, we're using the 7 regressors, the 7 variables in order to explain hourly wage. And we find that the adjusted R squared is bigger. And necessarily so, kasi pag nagdadagdag tayo ng predictors class, yung multiple R squared natin will definitely be bigger than the smaller one. However, we said that multiple R squared is not a good metric to use because every time you keep on increasing your predictors, talagang lalaki talaga yung multiple R squared. A better metric, a better assessment, a better basis for the model is the adjusted R squared. So we learned last time that the adjusted R squared penalizes us for the use of more predictors, especially if those predictors do not really contribute to explaining your dependent variable. In fact, baka related pa siya dun sa ibang variables. No? So if we can explain a variable of interest using just 5 predictors as compared to using 100, of course, it makes sense to use 5 because of the concept of parsimony, parsimonious model. Pag sinabi kasi parsimonious, di ba, parang kuripot yun, di ba? As much as possible, it will be, why would we want a parsimonious model? Number one, kung talagang we will conduct a survey, a research, very expensive yung gagamit ka ng maraming predictors. No? It's time consuming, it's expensive. Tapos it's more difficult to interpret. Diba? More difficult to interpret, more difficult to handle as compared to just using a limited number of predictors tapos robust din siya. So kung kaya naman ma-explain ng 3 to 5, depende no, sa explanatory variables as compared to 100. I might be exaggerating, but that's what I meant by a parsimonious model. All right. So we said that we expected that the adjusted R squared of model 2 will be higher kasi mas marami siyang mas marami siyang predictors. And then how did we interpret the parameters? Okay. How? Sabi natin na education, it's statistically significant at the 0.001 level of significance. 3 stars. Ito yun, 3 stars here. Okay, and this means for every 1 year increase in education, there's a corresponding $0.57 or 57 cents increase in hourly wage ceteris paribus. We need to put ceteris paribus. Kasi it should only be education that will change. A 1 unit increase in education will result to a $0.57 increase in hourly wage. Because if we also increase tenure or we increase number of dependents, hindi lang 0.57 yung change, no? Pati yung effect ng tenure, pati yung effect ng number of dependents, ever, no? So that's why we say it's ceteris paribus. So see, tenure then, significant, approximately 0.14. So for every 1 year increase in tenure, there's a corresponding 14 centavos increase in hourly wage. Okay. Si number of dependents, hindi siya significant. But if it was significant, ganun din interpretation niya. Now that leaves us with the interpretation of our factors. Our factors are character variables that are used to classify. Okay? So itong race, sabi natin, ilang dummy variables, how many dummy variables will be introduced here for race? Anyone? How many dummy variables will be introduced or will be used for the variable race? Class should know that. Yes? 1. Why 1? How did you get, Angel, how did you get 1? What's 2, Angel? You can unmute yourself para mas bilis. Okay. Okay. Yung K minus 1, yung K doon, yung levels. Yung levels, yung different kinds of, different levels of the factors. So si race, di ba ano siya? Di ba dalawang level siya, non-white at saka sa white. Ang default ni R, ang gagawin niyang benchmark or reference variable, pag sinabing benchmark or reference, gagawin niyang 0. No? Yung alphabetically appearing first. So si non-white ang ginawa niyang ginawa niyang 0. No? Si white, 1. And as I said, there will be K minus 1 dummy variables. Kaya nga nakikita natin dito isa lang. Race white lang. Wala kang makikitang race na iba pa. Isa lang, no, race white lang. Okay, because of the K minus 1 rule as far as dummy variables is concerned. What will happen kung naglagay din siya ng race non-white? Okay, magkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na perfect collinearity. Okay, perfect collinearity. So we will have a problem with that kung maggagawa siya ng dummy variable ulit for non-white. Okay, so as we discussed last time, kunyari kung if we have year level, no? Kunyari sa school, may variable tayo na year level. I'll call it YL, no? Year level, and then there are 4 levels here. Okay, si Frosh, si Sophomore, si Senior, at saka si Junior. We said that by default, ang gagawin dito ni R is 3 dummy variables because there are 4 levels. 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Therefore, if we're going to use that, yung year level na to, as a predictor, may lalabas dito, ang lalabas dito, YL, depende sa pangalan, kunyari sophomore, tapos YL, junior, at saka YL, year level na senior. Okay, there will be three dummy variables that will appear in your regression model. Bakit tatlo? Kasi tatlo nga yung levels ng variable na year level. Okay? And how do we interpret everything? We interpret everything in reference to your dummy variable or your benchmark variable or your reference variable, which is yung Frosh. Okay? In automatic ni R na si Frosh ang ginawa niyang benchmark. Of course, we can make it si sophomore ang Kung gusto natin yung sophomore yung and there's a way to do that. Okay, but let's discuss that next time. Madali lang naman yun. No? Okay, so what's the interpretation of this? Let's interpret si gender male kasi siya yung significant. No? So what's the interpretation of this? It means that on the average, male respondents receive $1.76 more than their female counterparts. So i-benchmark lagi natin dito sa reference variable natin or benchmark. No? So si male daw, 1.76 more than their female counterparts, ceteris paribus. Si civil status, hindi rin siya significant, but if it's significant, it will mean that single people on the average receive $0.46 less than their married counterparts, ceteris paribus. All right? Lesson. Okay, how do we interpret this in intercept? Negative 3.39. Okay, sabi natin yung intercept is that value of your dependent variable, average value ng dependent variable natin, if all of our regressors are equal to 0. Kung wala ito. No? Okay, that means 0 education, walang experience, walang tenure, walang number of dependents, and non-white siya, female siya, at saka married siya. Bakit ganun yung interpretation ko? Diba, class? Kapag 0 tong race white, ibig sabihin nun, si non-white siya. Diba? Kasi si non-white, ang reference natin dito, si non-white yung 0. Okay, that's why when you interpret the intercept, dapat ganun, no? On the average, people with, non-white, female, and married respondents who have no education, no experience, no tenure, no number of dependents, earn an average salary of hourly wage of negative 3.39. Of course, sabi natin, walang physical or pragmatic significance yan. But still, we include that in our model. Okay, may tanong ako, class. What is the hourly wage of a male, non-white, married person with no education, no experience, no tenure, no number of dependents? So ganun din, 0 education siya, 0 tenure experience, 0 tenure, 0 dependents, non-white siya, male siya, at saka married siya. Okay, ano yung average na ano yan, na hourly wage? Anyone please? Class?
Sir, I think they receive, yung interpretation pa for that is they receive $3.38 less than their counterparts.
Okay. $3.38. Pero ang tanong ko ganito a person who is male, yan male tinan niyo male, non-white, married, okay, no education, no experience, no tenure, no number of dependents. What will be the average hourly wage ng tao na yon? Who is male, non-white, married, no experience, no education, nothing, no tenure, no number of dependents. Anyone, please? So clue, it will not be negative 3.39. Rather, may sumagot. Okay, Angel, ano yung paki-explain yung answer mo, please?
Bale, the male employee who has no education, no experience, no tenure, they're married, and they're non-white and they don't have
Okay.
number of dependents,
Okay.
have received $1.75 more in terms of wage than their female counterparts.
Okay, but we're not asking here kung more, no? Hindi ko tinatanong to 1.75. Ang tinatanong ko yung average wage ng isang male, non-white siya, married siya, walang education, walang experience, walang tenure, walang number of dependents. But thank you, Angel, for your answer. I-ano lang natin, i-refine natin. The answer, class, is negative 3.38 plus 1.75. Kung ano man yung sum na yan, class, kasi male siya, di ba? Kung male siya, papasok to. Itong 1.76 na yan, it will enter the picture. Ito pang negative 3.38. The rest will be 0. Walang effect yun. No? Right, class? So kung sinabi ko pa rin na white, papasok din itong 0.11 na to. Isasama natin sa negative 3.38 yun. Okay? So if it was a white male, tapos married siya, yung married hindi papasok, no? Kasi yung married, 0 yun eh. Diba? So 0 yun dito. No dependents, no tenure, no experience, no education. Ang average wage nun, negative 3.38 plus 0.11 kasi white siya, no? So papasok tong factor na to. Plus 1.76. Papasok to kasi male siya. Okay? So aralin yan kasi next, yung sa exercise nyo, yung short quiz natin, may mga ganong tanong. May mga ganong tanong. Ano yung average wage ngayon? Kung wage man yung tinatanong natin. Ng isang tao na ganon. No? Okay, clear, class? May I have your confirmation, please? Kung clear? Okay, yeah, may sinabi dito si Carlos, no? Yes, Carlos, you're correct. It's, yeah, we add 1.75 to negative 3.39. That's true. That's correct. That's the answer. Whatever that answer is, yun yung average range. Okay? So, madali lang actually, no? Titignan nyo lang. Basta ito, class, raise, pag white siya, ito yung ano, ito yung dagdag niya sa ano, sa hourly wage, di ba? Kasi more to more. Kung single, less. Ibabawas natin to. No? Depende dun sa value ng coefficient natin. But if it's the other one, kunyari, non-white, edi zero yun, walang contribution to, yung race, no? If it's non-white. Kasi nga, yung non-white natin, di ba, zero siya. Reference variable natin yun eh. Zero yun. Ito, 0.1 more than female. So kung si female 0, si white 0.11. I hope that's clear, no? Additive lang naman siya. Okay, good. Good. All right. So sige. Ito ngayon yung ano, 'di ba? Ito yung this is our model 2. So we learned last time that how do I know that model 2 is better than model 1? 'Di ba sabi natin parsimony, 'di ba? Si model 1, one variable lang siya, one predictor. Si model 2, 7. Okay. Do we base it on adjusted R squared or R squared? Kasi pag R squared, definitely model 2 tayo eh, mas marami kasi tataas talaga yung R squared niyan. Pero meron tayong pwedeng ginagamit na statistical test, no? So let's use ANOVA comparing mod 1 and mod 2. Okay, I think I discussed this last time, no? So gagamit tayong ANOVA analysis of variance comparing model 1 and model 2. Okay, now take note of this. Sa analysis of variance natin, comparing yung regression models natin, the null hypothesis is that the restricted model, in this case, ano yung restricted model? Model 1 o model 2? Model 1 means less variables. Sino mas restricted class? Model 1 or model 2? Mod 1. Okay, thank you. I hope the others are following, ha? Mod 1 ang restricted. Bakit restricted si mod 1? Eh, kasi mas konting ano siya, no? Mas konti yung ano niya, yung predictors. Kung sino mas konti, yun yung ano, yun yung restricted. And by the way, class, dapat ano you cannot compare two models if they have different dependent variables. Kunyari, itong isa hourly wage, yung isa log of hourly wage, hindi pa pwede yun. You cannot use ANOVA for that. Kailangan pareho yung ano, yung dependent variable at saka also mas lesser yung variables, yung predictors ng isa, no? And may commonality sila, dapat may pareho, tapos yung isa nabawasan lang. Yun ang tawag natin sa restricted. Okay? Restricted model is better, okay, than unrestricted. Unrestricted natin dito in this case is model 2. Diba? So tinetest natin yan. So if we run this analysis of variance, okay, you have this p-value, no? P-value is significant at 0.001, so that's very, very low, no? Therefore, what is our conclusion? When the p is low, the null must go. So this must go, class. We reject the null hypothesis that model 1 is better. Okay, aka Control G. In other words, class, mas maganda si model 2, yung unrestricted. So in this case, hindi nag-work yung concept ng parsimony. Masyado namang maliit yung ano, masyadong iisa lang kasi, di ba? Alright? So pause for a while, class. Is that clear? Clear siya? Paki-chat naman please. So kung clear yung ano, pag-determine kung ano yung model na gagamitin natin. Should we proceed with another model? Or okay na yung model 2 na yan? O model 1? Okay, thank you. Now, another way to compare is using AIC. No? AIC is a Kaiki information criterion. Mod 1, mod 2. So this is your Akaike information criteria. Okay? All right. If we run Akaike, all right, makikita natin na si Akaike ni model 2 is 2640. Akaike of model 1 is 277. So what does that indicate? The lower, the better. Okay? The lower the Akaike, the better. All right. In this case, model 2 has a lower AIC, then therefore AIC method, using AIC as a benchmark to compare results also in the same conclusion. So mas okay si model 2. Okay, you can also in fact use Bayesian, BIC. Meron din ito. Model 1, model 2, Bayesian. So this is your Bayesian information criterion. Halos similar lang yan sa sa Akaike. May konting difference lang sa pag-compute, but usually they rarely do they give different results. BIC. Okay. Yan. BIC. So mas mababa din yung BIC, Bayesian information criterion model 2. All right, good. Okay, now we go to the next part, which is, so ano yung model natin? We cannot stop yet kasi may mga insignificant dito, no? We do not, as a good practice, we do not just remove all the insignificant. Sa experience, hindi natin pwedeng tanggalin yan nang sabay-sabay dito sa single status, at saka sa number of dependents. We will do what we call a stepwise regression. Yan. Stepwise regression ang tawag dyan. So sa stepwise regression, there are two types, forward and backward. Okay? Ang forward stepwise regression, you start with zero predictor, and then you add one at a time. No? Yun ang forward. Si backward naman, you add everything. Okay, yung model 2 natin, di ba lahat ng parameters yan, lahat ng predictors, and then remove one variable at a time. So that's a stepwise regression. So in our case, we're going to use the backward. No? Backward regression natin, stepwise natin. Kasi, pinasok na natin lahat ng variables, tatanggalin natin isa-isa. And the leaving variable, yung aalis, L-E-A-V-I-N-G, will always be the variable with the lowest t-value, absolute value, absolute t-value. Okay, so ang ano lang na, ang candidates natin, yung mga hindi significant. Because definitely, the significant ones will have the higher t-values and the lower probabilities. Kasi directly related yan eh. Okay, so ito, so sino klase ang leaving variable? Paki-chat nga please. Who will be the leaving variable? Yung aalis. Sino? May sumugot ba? Which variable will be the leaving? L-E-A-V-I-N-G. Yung aalisin natin. Of course, class, yung mga candidates ang aalisin. Yung mga insignificant lang. Hindi pwedeng alisin yung yung mga significant kasi hindi magkakaroon ng relatively, hindi magkakaroon ng minimum t-value yan. Okay, anyone please? Come on, class, come on. Go. So which is the leaving variable? Tingnan yung t-value, class. Sino yung pinaka-minimum na absolute value? Okay, yun lang lagi yung basis natin. Okay, civil status. Ba't naging civil status, Angel?
It has the lowest p-value po of
hindi t-value titingnan natin.
t-value.
T-value.
Then it would be num-dep, sir. Number dependent. Ay, hindi. Sorry, race white.
Si race,
kasi it has 0. Yes, sir.
Yes, correct. Si race ang ang living. Yes, correct. Thank you, Carlos. No? Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Krisha. No? So, tama, race. Take note ka sa absolute value. So, you disregard the sign. So, ito yung aalisin natin sa stepwise regression natin. So, our leaving variable will be race. Okay, so let's do that now. Okay, so our living variable. So generate our model 3, no? Ang living variable natin, living variable is equal to race. Yan. Control Alt I. All right, so let's just copy this. Copy na lang natin itong model natin dito. Control C. Control V. Let's call this model 3. Nakahiwalay yun dun. Model 3, and then aalisin natin si race, di ba? Race will go out of the picture. All right, so tanggal si race. So this is now model 3. Okay, so let's summarize this. Generate natin to. All right, let's take a look at our model. Now you can see that tumaas ba yung ano natin? Tumaas yung ano natin, yung adjusted R squared. Kanina 36.16 lang yata. Ngayon 36.32. Okay, so tumaas siya. Tapos some variables here, si intercept naging significant, no? Si education as experience, kanina significant ba si experience? At 10% pa rin, no? Okay. So si gender male, si gender significant dito. Dito ba significant siya? Significant din. So lahat naman 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, pareho lang naman yung significant. Okay, nag-ano nga lang, nataasan yung adjusted R squared. Okay, and also take a look at your standard errors. 0.84558. Tingnan natin itong education, 0.05. Let's compare the standard errors. 0.05, 0.84 dito. So medyo bumaba, no? Which is good. So pag bumababa yung standard errors, that's better. Kasi mas nagiging mas accurate yung confidence interval natin. 0.10, 0.29, let's see the others. 0.10, 0.29, okay, 0.26. Okay, iba halos hindi naman nagbago, no? Okay, all right. So, once again, we know how to interpret this, di ba? Alam natin i-interpret yan. Hindi ko na uulitin, ha? So, sinasabi natin dito, si male, on the average, receive $1.76 more than their female counterparts, ceteris paribus, etc. No? Etc. So we can now perform an ANOVA. No? Compare natin. Compare si mod 2 and mod 3. Sino mas maganda? Okay, ANOVA. Mod 2, mod 2, mod 3. And then, klaro lang natin, ha? Ang null natin is that restricted model. Sino sa restricted model class? Who is restricted model, please? Kindly unmute yourself. Class. Pakibilis, sumagot kasi medyo ano na tayo ng time. Yung kabilang section, natapos na namin itong hanggang introduction to diagnostics. What is our restricted model here, class? Anyone, please? Restricted. 17 na lang, oh. Kanina 22 yan. Anong nangyari sa iba? 16 na lang. Nawala na yung 6 na students. Kanina nag-attendance. Mag-attendance ulit ako mamaya. Hello, class?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes?
Sir, is it the race? The white race?
Hindi, ang tinatanong ko, what is the restricted model?
Oh.
Trisha, bakit model 3?
Model 2, sir.
Model 2? Emil, but model 2? Trisha, bakit model 3? Okay, less predictors, no? Ang restricted class, yung mas konting predictors. Model 2 has 7 predictors. Model 3 has 6 predictors. Remember, tinanggal natin yung race kay Model 3. So, ang restricted model natin si Model 3. So, that's very important kasi para alam natin kung mas maganda si Model 3 or si Model 2 is better. Kasi we will look at the p-value. Okay, run natin. The p-value is practically 0.8, no? 0.79. So what do we do with this null hypothesis? We fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, hindi natin mare-reject to. So which is better, model 2 or model 3? The restricted model, model 3 is better. We will not be able to reject that. Therefore, okay, si model 3 ang mas maganda. Yung restricted model yung mas maganda kaysa kay model 2 na mas kompleto. Okay, let me pause for a while and paki-chat please kung clear.
Yes, sir. I understand now. My bad.
Okay. Yung iba? About the others, waiting for the others to give their feedback. Walang feedback class kung naintindihan o hindi. Okay. Alright. Konti lang talaga ng participation rate. Okay, thank you. Alright. So, kinumpare natin si Model 2 at saka sa Model 3. Always do that, no? Para malalaman natin kung which model do we choose. Right, so Model 3 is the choice. So, ang gagawin natin kay Model 3, meron pa kasi mga meron pa mga insignificant predictors. So, the leading variable will be number of dependents. Yan. Kasi yung t-value niya 1.33. Si civil status 1.58. Si experience 1.78. So, the lowest t-value is number depth. Therefore, we're going to let's copy this. Number depth ang tatanggalin natin. Dito na lang. Control C. Control D. Generate model 4. Leading variable natin is num depth. So we're going to remove num depth here. Alright. Okay, so ito na yung natin, model 4. Model 4 siya. That will now be our model. Let me run this. Run. Okay, so we have here the results. No? 36.21 kanina, 36.31. So bumaba yung adjusted R squared. Okay, definitely the multiple R squared also went down kasi mas konti yung ito, no? Mas konti yung predictors. However, if we compare the standard error, ito 0.76.0498, 0.74.06, 0.04. So bumaba yung standard error. No? Okay, we'll discuss later on when we go to diagnostics kung ano yung importance ng standard error. We would want that our standard error to be the lowest possible. Kasi itong standard error class, ginagamit yan sa pag-compute ng probabilities. No? And even sa pag-compute ng ng estimates. So kung malaki yung standard error, medyo medyo problematic yung magiging estimates natin. Okay? All right. So, what happened? We have two variables that are insignificant. No? So, what will be our leaving variable? 1.558, tsaka, wait. So, model 4 na to, no? Okay. Mag-ANOVA ulit tayo. Compare natin, Control-Alt-I. So, let's see, ANOVA, model. Now, it doesn't matter class kung ano mauna, model 5 and model 4. For as long as you know what is your restricted model. H naught natin is the restricted model, which is, ano restricted model natin, class? What's our restricted model? We're now comparing model 4 and 5. Of course, class, it makes no sense to compare model 5 with model 4. Kasi wala na tinalo na si model 3. Sorry, model 5 with model 3. Wala na, tinalo na si model 3, no? All right, so what's the restricted model, class? Model 5, di ba? Model 5. Ang tanong lagi dyan, anong model ba yung mas konting variables? Kasi ang gusto natin i-test dito, does it make sense to add more variables? Okay? Model 5 is the restricted model kasi nga yung model 5, tinanggalan natin, di ba, anong tinanggal natin dito? Yung number of dependents, di ba? Kaya nga wala nang number of dependents dito. Compared to Model 4, no? Model 4, meron pang number of dependents. Mas maraming predictors si Model 4 compared to Model 5, therefore restricted si Model 5. Ganun lang, class, babalik lang tayo doon, no? Sino mas konting predictors? Kung sino mas konti, siya yung tinetest natin. Kasi gusto natin malaman, will it make sense to add more variables, predictors, di ba? Kasi kung hindi na kailangan magdagdag, then ano mangyayari dito, class? Okay na yung restricted model natin. Alright? So let's see. Run natin to. Run natin. Ano mangyayari dito, class? Run. Okay. Oops, ano nangyari? Mod 5. Hindi ko ba na, ay, naku, wait. Ay, nagkamali ako dito. Okay, let me run model 4 muna. Kasi nawala na si model 4 ko eh. Model 4, where's my model 4? Let me run model 4. Okay. And then let me run model 5. Oh, wait, hindi. Model 4 and model 3 pala. Model 4 and model 3. What we're comparing is model 4. Thank you, Christian. Model 4 and model 3. So model 4 is the restricted model, no? Siya yung mas konting predictors, binawasan natin. Diba? Run natin to, and p-value is 0.184. Okay? Therefore, we fail to reject the null hypothesis that the restricted model is better. So, mas maganda si model 4, yung mas konting predictors. So, okay tayo dito. No? Mas okay to kaysa dun sa may number of dependents. Alright. And then, may natitira pang dalawang insignificant. No? Yan. So, what do we do with this? Insignificant si civil status. Okay? But barely significant siya. Barely insignificant. 0.051. Si ano naman, experience, insignificant din. So, our leaving variable will be si experience, 1.558 versus 1.956. So, experience will have to go. So, copyhin ko to. Control-C. Ano lang. Control-C. Copy the whole. Control-V. Generate model 5. Leaving variable is experience. So, tanggal si experience sa model natin. Tanggal si experience, and then model 5. Okay? Model 5 na. Tingnan natin. Run. Okay. Aha. So we now have all our predictors to be significant. However, our adjusted R squared is 36%. No? 36.04. Kanina 36 point, ano yata, 16 something. So mas mababa yung adjusted R squared dito. Pero if you compare the standard error, 0.64 sa kabila, 0.76. So bumababa yung standard error. 0.049, 0.049 to 0.046. Okay, so you can see that the standard error went down 0.27, 0.266 sa gender male, 0.266, halos pareho lang. Okay? So, and then all of them are statistically significant already. So wala na tayong leading variable dito. That leaves us just to check kung mas maganda nga ba si model 5 kaysa kay model 4. Let's do an ANOVA test for this. Okay, this one. Copy ko na lang, Control C. Control V. Okay, and then model 5. We're comparing model 4 and 5. Restricted model natin is model 5. All right. Run natin to. And we can see that the p-value is greater than 0.05. It's 0.12. So we fail to reject the null hypothesis. So mas maganda daw yung model 5 kaysa kay model 4. Even if, okay, mag-akaiki tayo, tingnan natin na sama natin dito. Dito na lang. Nakalimutan natin kanina to. AIC. Model 5 and model 4. And then sama na rin natin si BIC. Model 5. Model 4. Okay, let's see. Okay. AIC, tingnan natin ha. So, if you take a look at the AIC, halos pareho lang, no? Pero, ang sinasabi dito, mas maganda si Model 4 based on AIC. Kasi mas mababa siya, 26.38.6. Tapos si Model 5, 26.39. Mas mataas yung AIC niya. Okay? However, si Model 5, lahat significant. Si Model 4, may hindi significant. Okay? That's why, yung R squared niya mas mataas, even the adjusted R squared. Kasi nga, may variable siya na sinama, pero hindi naman significant yung variable na yan. Okay? So in this case, even the AIC will not be consistent, no? Kasi isipin natin parang mas maganda si tingnan natin si BIC. BIC na ba to? Okay, pero si BIC class, ayan, no? Mas maganda si si Model 5. So there will be times na halos pareho naman sila lagi, no, si AIC at saka si BIC. But there are times na mas kasi yung computation ni BIC mas strict. But oftentimes, mas ginagamit si AIC. Okay, but if you want parang as confirmation or reinforcement or parang sabihin natin na what's the term for that? Validation na mas okay nga si Model 5. We can use here the BIC. Having the lower BIC compared to Model 4. All right. Any questions so far, class? Any questions? So you will know now how to write your equation. No? Your hourly wage is equal to negative 2.16, 1381 plus 0.52936 times education plus 0.154 times tenure plus 1.71 times gender minus 0.68 times civil status. Okay? So all the variables are statistically significant. Okay, so yun yung final model natin. Okay. Paki-chat please, class, kung clear so far. Okay, reminder lang next meeting, meron tayong please come on time, meron tayong short exercise. No? Yung mga short exercises na yun, I'm going to collate it and make it into one quiz. Okay, good. All right. Now, may time pa tayo ng konti. Let me just introduce the concept of diagnostics. Remember, class, that when we used ordinary least squares, online, during our class period, next Tuesday, and the next Monday, yung first 30 minutes, and ako yung mag-aan ng grouping. And if you come late class, hindi kayo makakasali, no? So, please come immediately kasi check ko muna yung attendance. Tapos kung sino lang andi dito, sila lang isasama natin sa grouping. Okay. Diagnostics tayo ngayon, no? Remember, class, that ang mga assumptions yan, dapat linear, no? Linear yung relationship ng mga variables natin. Dapat din yung parameters natin linear, so wala tayong problema doon. Residual should be constant. Ibig sabihin, dapat homoscedastic yung distribution ng residuals natin. Ano pa, yung multicollinearity, dapat hindi collinear yung hindi dapat collinear yung mga correlated yung mga independent variables natin. Residuals also should not be collinear, correlated. Tapos, ano pa? Yun yung residual should be normally distributed. Okay, so let's use some plots. Okay, we can use the plot function in order to see if we're able to meet. So we use the plot function, small p, and then mod 5. Since mod 5 is our final variable, final module. Control enter, and then it will give us 4 plots. Okay, the first plot is this one. So this is the plot of your standardized residuals. Pag sinabing standardized residuals, ito yung residuals na ni-normalize natin. So kinuha natin residual minus its mean divided by the standard deviation of the residuals. Yun ang standardized residuals. And dapat we expect that the residual should be distributed throughout your observations. Dito makikita natin merong concentration ng mga residuals, no? And then dapat yung red line na to should be almost straight. Pero makikita natin na medyo may pababa. And then you have here a measure of Cook's distance. Okay, we will learn about Cook's distance next time. Yung Cook's distance is a measurement yan ng outliers, no? Ginagamit din siya minsan in relation to influential data points. All right. Okay, so another plot is this one. Yung QQ plot natin, quantile plot. Now this will test for normality of residuals. Dapat yung mga standardized residuals natin, when we plot it against the quantiles, dapat malapit siya sa line na to. Okay? The mere fact na dito sa higher values, it's really way off the QQ plot, no? So ibig sabihin nun, malamang hindi normally distributed yung mga residuals natin. Third plot here, okay, similar to dun, studentized residuals. Notice na may pattern siya, no? May fanning out. Dapat kasi random yan. And if you notice here, number 59, number 15, number 229, these are values that are outliers, no? And possible na influence data sila. Okay, influence data is very important. Influential data points is very important because they influence, kaya nga influential sila, the measurement of your parameters. Kung tanggalin natin sila, magiging malaking effect sa beta coefficients natin. Okay? So meron tayong dito mga potential na influential data points. Tapos, if you take a look at the residuals, ayan no, may pattern no? May pattern. So quite similar to the other one. It's almost time, guys. 2 minutes, tapusin ko lang to. And then this one also. Ito yung sinasabi kong leverage points. Andito na naman si Cook's distance. So delikado yung mataas yung leverage. Mataas yung leverage tapos mataas yung residuals. Okay? Kasi yung mga ganong klaseng points, ito sinasabi niya, ang candidate, ito kanina 0.59, 260, at saka 1112. Ito yung observation number 59, 260, 1112. No? Sabi niya, this tells us to look at this. Alright? Now, pwede naman natin i-plot to. So, ganito gawin natin, no? Partition natin, so this is called partition. Number of rows is equal to C 2 by 2. And if you take a look at that function, magagawa lang siya ng isang plot for our residual plot. No? So, i-run natin to sabay. Partition MF row is equal to 2 rows, 2 columns. Let's run this. It will generate just one. Pinagsama-sama niya lahat yung kanina. Kanina kasi naka-separate, di ba? Kaya ngayon, pinagsama niya sa isang diagram. The same diagrams, no? The same diagrams. All right. So, it's time, class. Let me just end in this. Now, quick review. What we did was to come up with a stepwise regression. In particular, yung backward. Kasi, linode muna natin lahat ng mga predictors natin sa model natin. Tapos, one by one, nagtanggal tayo until we reach the final model, and that's called backward. Now, what we did was, okay lang kasi konti lang naman yung variables natin. Tapos I wanted you to see what's happening. However, if we have quite a number of variables, kunyari 20 plus yan, tapos isa-isahin mo yun, matagal yun. Enter this package OLSR. Okay, so itong package na to, which you already na-upload na rin yan. So next meeting natin titingnan kung the advantage of using this OLSRR. Kasi yung kaninang ginawa natin na manual, in one step yan sa OLSRR. Okay, we can choose that, we can choose backward siya, tapos pwede natin pa-generate one step at a time. So lahat ng ginawa natin, i-print out niyan, siya lang mismo. Or we can just choose the final model. Ano yung final model? Either based on AIC or R-squared. So may ganung option. So do a little reading on OLSRR kasi napaka-powerful nito. And then after that, after we have learned OLSRR, we will learn some more reports on residuals, and then we go now to the diagnostics. Okay? Paano natin ma-address to? Okay? Kasi heteroscedastic to. Let me just show you one. So sa R, meron tayong tinatawag na performance package. So let me just show you. Performance, that's a package. Okay, and then check, underscore, check, and then yung H. Yan, heteroscedasticity. Yan. Okay, kasi kanina tinitin na lang natin. Pero may statistical test yan. So if I check that statistically, okay, anong result? Sabi, ayun, nakalimutan ko, sorry. Mod 5 pala. Mod 5. Alright, check heteroscedasticity ng mod 5. Run. Alright, anong sabi niya? Warning, heteroscedasticity non-constant variance detected. Alright, so, sabi niya, may heteroscedasticity pa. Yun ang problema natin. Okay? So we'll deal with this next time. And pag-uusapan natin, paano natin i-address yan? Bakit? Kasi class, kung may heteroscedasticity tayo, hindi na blue yung natin, predictors. It will no longer be the best linear unbiased estimators. Okay? Linear pa rin siya unbiased pa rin siya, pero hindi na siya yung best. Yun ang problem kung may heteroscedasticity. And that we're going to discuss next meeting. Okay? All right. Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Let me stop recording.